I'm looking forward to just being able to see the people of Canada. As for the game, I don't know how it will be emotionally, but it's going to be good. It's going to be fun to be home.
Kyle, man, I want to say thanks for coming out on your off day, man, and hanging out with us. You know, Complex Canada, all of Complex and obviously all of Canada are huge fans of your work and, you know, you as an athlete. I feel like the nation really appreciates what you've done with the sport of basketball in Canada, man. So on behalf of all of Canada, thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me. You know, Canada is home.
Yeah, man.
Forever home. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
Definitely a place that, you know, it's a special place for me and will always be special for me. So, you know, it's a pleasure for me to be here.
Yeah, man. And happy belated, bro. So you just turned 36?
Damn, you ain't gonna just throw it out there like that, right? I'm trying to keep that on the low, yeah. 36, big 36. I'm a young 36 though, young 36.
For sure. What'd you do to celebrate?
I lost a game to the Knicks.
I saw that, yeah.
Nah, man, I didn't do much. I had some friends in town and, you know, just chilled and whatever, and then got some dinner the next night. But birthdays are special days, but, you know, it's time to, you know, I was working, so my birthday always comes in a time where you're probably working, so once I retire, I'll be able to celebrate a little bit more.
For sure, man. As I was getting ready for this interview, I started like obviously Googling you, and
yeah.
I'm like, man, does Kyle Google himself? Like, do you see all the accolades? Like, do you ever stop and you're like, you know, like 6-time, you know, gold medalist? Like, do you see all this stuff and you ever like, damn, like, I'm doing good?
Nah, man, I know it, but I always said this in a lot of interviews I've done. I said once I'm done retire, I look back at everything I've done so I can really like take it all in. You know, you can do so much right now. You know, yes, I miss the moments of being in the moment now, but when it comes to my basketball career, like I'll wait till I'm done, where I can look back on it and I can continue to look back on it. For right now, you know, I know the things that I've done and I've accomplished, but there's still more to be accomplished because I'm still working, I'm still doing my job, and I still love doing my job at a high level. So it's still like, you know, you want to be, you know, you see it, but you still want to be in that moment of like, all right, what are you doing right now? What are you doing at this current moment? How do you get better at that moment?
That brings me to like my next point, which is, I mean, when you have the amount of accolades that you have, and you reach the level of playing that you have as an athlete, at what point do you feel like, oh, that's enough? Like, if you had to retire tomorrow, would you feel content with what you've done in your career?
No, I feel like I want to go until the wheels fall off. This is something I've done my whole life. I mean, I've been playing basketball since I was 5 years old, probably maybe before then. So it's something that I'm completely engulfed in, right? This is my life, this is my passion, this is what I do, this is my profession. This is where you know, I've become successful. It's given me a launch pad to other things. So I don't feel like I'll be like, oh yeah, but I just want to continue to play until the wheels fall off. When the wheels fall off, then I'll be like, all right, that was time.
So you'll go as long as you can go?
I go as long as I go, unless my kids tell me not to. My kids tell me I gotta retire, then it's over.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like then I'll be like, I had to accomplish a lot. So, but my kids love, you know, their dad being Kyle Lowry.
For sure, man. Who wouldn't? It's like superhero dad, man.
I mean, you got dad and then you got Kyle Lowry, so it's, you know, it's fun to have two different type of things with your kids.
I want to ask you about, I know everyone who knows you and has heard you speak, you talk about we're putting in the work.
Yeah.
Putting in the work, and you work really hard. And I think a big part of that is also not letting doubt in, not let doubt creep into your game and into your mindset. But in today's era of social media, and you're always dealing with media, post-media interviews and all that, how do you not let that creep in? Like, what's your protection?
I'm different in the sense of like, I try not to, I know everyone has their opinions, but I know what I do. I know what my heart is. I know I know the work I put. I know the time I put in. And at the end of the day, I don't care what other people say if they're not directly involved with me. You know, it's kind of one of those things where I come from Philly, so you gotta be a little bit thick-skinned. And you gotta understand that, you know, people are gonna talk about you. It's not always gonna be the best. It's not gonna always be the worst, but there's always somebody that's not gonna like you. Why? Who knows? That's just the way our world is. And for me, not to let doubt creep in, it's pretty simple. I don't give a F. You know what I mean? About
you just ignore it, you don't care.
What I mean? I don't worry about it, you know? So people, right now, I guess like the biggest things like betting, and they be like, man, my parlay. I don't care. My team won. I don't care about what you're doing. Like, it's called gambling for a reason. You know what I mean? Or people say, well, you shouldn't do this. But as long as I'm confident and comfortable in my own skin, that's all that really matters to me.
Yeah. Something that's really astonishing for me is when I look at the early part of your career and some of the injuries you sustained are injuries that some players don't come back from. And if they do come back from, they don't come back the same.
Yeah.
You had a broken wrist, you tore your ACL.
Yeah.
How much of that is mental versus physical?
Knock on wood. A lot of it's mental. Another great Adidas athlete, Derrick Rose. I mean, he's come back from so much things, and a lot of it is not the physical rehabilitation; it's the mindset, right? D Rose. I mean, think about it. He's had so much things, and now his career has been very successful, and he's continued to get better. And he's dealing with something now, but he's still working to get back because his mind's a strong mind. And for me, like the stuff I've had, it was like freak injuries, and you just gotta say, look, this is what I want. I want this. This is what I do. So let me just work extremely hard to get back, and not let your mind get clouded. Like, man, this might not be it. You got to find ways to motivate yourself internally.
Because you're saying it's mental, it makes me also think of like manifestation. And I just recently watched the Genius doc, the Kanye doc on Netflix. Really cool. It was really cool to see how driven he was and what he was able to accomplish. But there's one part that really stood out to me where he's doing an interview and they ask him, or he says in the interview, he says, if I were to quit rap tomorrow and I wanted to go into the NBA, I would make it in the NBA.
Yeah.
And the interviewer's like, no, that's not possible, man. You can't just make it in the NBA. And he's like, no, I would, because I would get myself there.
Yeah.
So when you say that it's a mental thing, do you think that someone who doesn't have the natural ability and capabilities to be a basketball player, can they become an NBA player?
A lot of it is a lot of mindset. Is a lot of it. A lot of it's luck also. It's hard work, but you gotta be lucky. You gotta be put in the right position. You gotta be in the right spot at the right time sometimes. And you gotta continue to understand, man, this is hard. This is not easy. But if you can find a way to get there, you'll get there. To be able to get to this level of NBA, a basketball NBA player, is a lot of luck. It's only 450 of us, per year, and it's pretty tough to get to that spot. You can manifest it, and I believe a lot of it is, but you still have to be lucky to get there, right? Like, it's something that, if it's something different, maybe, like Kanye, he manifested who he was as a musician and how he's seen it, but he had a talent. Right, he was lucky and he worked at it and got some lucky breaks, here and there. And he worked at it, but as an NBA player, you have to find there is some luck that goes into that. So it's kind of a fine line.
Yeah. Do you think vice versa? Let's say, for instance, you were like, I'm gonna quit NBA, I'm gonna quit being a baller, and I'm gonna be a rapper.
Yeah,
if you put your mind to it, do you think that you could do it?
No, I ain't got that. Nah, that ain't my talent. I stay in this basketball lane. I think I could do other things. I don't have the passion to be a rapper. If I was if I was passionate to be a musician, then I probably could possibly do it. But if there's another passion that I wanted to do, yeah, I believe I could do it. I could figure out how to do it. Yeah, I need some lucky breaks here and there, but I can get myself to the point where I'm comfortable in doing it.
What would be your rapper name if you did do it?
I don't know. I can't even think of no. I'll probably be some silly name. I don't know, some stupid name. I don't know. Rappers got some incredible names, boy. There's a lot of rap names out there.
I think you got to stick with Kalo.
I got to stay with Kalo. I mean, that'd be one of them. But that's my basketball name. My rap name got to be something different than Kalo.
That's true.
Know. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a rapper or an artist, so I can't think like them.
I want to ask you about split-second decisions, and I feel like this is something we've seen you grow in and mature in. In your earlier career, you had problems with officials and coaches, and then you get to the point where there's trade rumors, and you're so close with the organization that they keep you looped in on what's happening.
Yeah.
Right? And that you earned respect. You had to earn your respect to get to that point. And then, you look at, situations where people are dealing with issues with their coach and they don't know how to kind of maintain those relationships. What advice do you give to players or teammates to help them stay in that kind of pocket with their teams?
Maturity. I was in this league. I came in the league and I was 20 years old, and it took a while for me to kind of figure it out. And you just continue to get older and older. You see certain things and you figure certain things out and understand that this is a business. Once you start, and I understood that after my first year, that it was a business. And I kind of, I'm a fiery type of guy, so you got to figure out how to, put that ball of fire and kind of contain it. But when you contain it, it's still in there. It still burns. It still burns at a higher rate. It still burns at a, 100 or 3,000 degree, internal burn. But you keep it inside until it needs to come out. Other than that, you kind of have yourself, understand everything you do, especially nowadays, it's a consequence and a reaction to it. There's always a reaction to something you do. So you got to figure out who it is. And then we have, for me, I have kids, and everything I do, and they watch, and they see, they will mimic it. So I have to continue to evolve and mold, and so I've had to, and to get to the point where my teams always keep me in a loop with situations. That's just a relationship and a trust that you earn throughout the time that you're with them. And if they can trust you and you can trust them, it's always a good binding situation. As long as they're upfront, you just keep it real from the rip. Like, yo, just keep it 100 with me. And I think they respect that. If you say, let's keep it real with me, I'm still gonna do my job no matter what. Nothing you say or do is gonna affect me from doing my job. And I think me doing my job, no matter trade rumors, argument, coaches, officials, I'm gonna do my job at the hardest level. The people up top or the people that kind of manage that situation will always respect that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I know, in split-second decisions, like some examples that you've been through, like getting pushed by, a fan in the stands.
No, the owner.
An owner.
Let's get that right.
An owner.
Yeah. Partial owner. Yeah.
Having DeMar, your best friend, traded, and you kept your cool through everything. And then you look at a situation like in pop culture. This is blowing up right now at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Right. You see Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
Yeah.
What would you say to Chris Rock? Like, what kind of advice would you give to somebody like that on this situation?
I wouldn't give him no advice. I would just be like, man, that's, he held his composure. You gotta say, man, he was true, in the situation, the culture I grew up in, we've been scrapping and rumbling. But, he knew that, I'm assuming he knew that the world was watching his reaction. And his reaction would have, kind of taken it could have gone two different ways, right? It could have gone where it's like, damn, Chris Rock couldn't hold his composure, man, we can't. Or it can go, man, Chris Rock really held his composure. I think he's getting a lot of publicity about how he handled the situation. And there's all type of situations that you can be in. That's one that I'm sure he would not really want to be in, but he kept his composure, he kept his job going, he did what he had to do. And it's just a testament to who he is as a man and how he responded to the situation, to me.
And being a Philly guy, I know Will Smith is your, one of your favorite actors. What are your thoughts on that?
Hey man, Big Willie from Philly. All right, listen. Sometimes we are human beings, and we all have these emotions, and we all have people that we care about. We all have times where things happen and you react. And I think it was just a reaction moment. I don't know if he regrets it or I'm sure he apologized to Chris Rock, and I'm sure, whatever happened. But at the same time, he is a man and he still has human emotions. His emotions got the best of him on that one. Right or wrong, he did what he did, and now he deals with it how he is, and the way he responds to it is a testament of a man. He's apologized, he's done other things, and it is what it is. Like, shoot, how many people y'all done seen get slapped in the street or punched in the face? And just because it's Will Smith, it means that, it's a big deal. He's still a human being.
How do you handle that specific moment? Like in those split seconds, do you just walk away? Like, how do you handle those moments so that you don't act or react emotionally? You
gotta understand who you are in the situation you're in. If I ain't got no cameras around, we're gonna be rumbling. And knowing who you are in the situation, cameras around, not cameras. I'm not saying I don't condone violence at all. I don't. But at the same time, you gotta figure out what's your situation, what's the repercussions, what's the reaction. Like I said, every action has a reaction. Mm-hmm. So you gotta figure that out fairly quickly. So your brain waves better be moving.
Absolutely. Because we're talking about Philly.
Yeah.
I know, your upbringing was rough. You've talked about it. And I think, fortunately for you, basketball was like a way out for you. And when I think about you and how fortunate you were, there's a few NBA players that come to mind, right? Like that have been able to use basketball
a lot
to be able to get out. But unfortunately, that opportunity is very rare for a lot of people in at-risk communities. I know you do a lot of work with your foundation. How do you plan to see your foundation continue to give back now that you've kind of moved from Toronto to Miami? And
I feel like I'll still be able to give back and do things in both in all the communities that I've been a part of and that I embrace, Miami, Philly, and being home, Toronto still being home to me. I just feel like I'll continue to, my presence won't be me personally being there, but the opportunity to give back however it is, if it's food, if it's money, if it's, supplies for school, gear, if it's, just being able to be there. My presence of me and my body may not be there, but the opportunity that I have, to use what I have in partners like Adidas, to be able to help me with certain things, I can do that. My foundation is basically, I don't do it for the attention, I do it for the straight, genuine love of the better of the younger generation and the earth.
What do you tell to kids, because I know you do food drives, you do a whole bunch of stuff, and you're on the ground, your family comes out, they help you as well. What do you tell to kids that, might not have an opportunity in basketball but are looking for some form of hope? What do you say?
Just go, man, just do it. Don't let the streets get you. And I know the streets they're very much there. They're able, people with friends, and that's just what you see. But there's bigger things than just with your street. There's other countries, there's other states, there's other provinces, there's other things out there that you can do. You just have to find your lane. Don't just be stuck in a lane because what you grew up in put you in a lane. You can always change lanes. You don't have to stay in that lane. You can always move left or right and get outside that lane and then find ways to help your family and help your generation grow.
Let's talk about this moment right now. So we're in Chicago.
Yep.
You're getting ready to play a game on Saturday, but I know for Canadian fans, everyone's super excited, man, because on Sunday, you're coming back home. Toronto's been, I think there's also more hype around it because I think you were supposed to come back in February, and it's been like this thing that people are now anticipating. There's like this feeling of anxiety almost of people wanting to see you come back home, you know what I mean? And like just waiting. How does it feel for you? I feel like for you it must be weird. You were with the Raps for 9 years.
Yeah.
A lot of your major accolades happen as a Raptor. Now you're coming back to Toronto in a different uniform. How does that feel?
It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be different. Anxiety for them is probably 20 times more for me. I would have loved to got this moment over a while ago, but things unfortunate, things didn't happen. But now it's here, and it's kind of crazy because this game is going to be it's going to mean something for everybody. So it's one of those games where maybe it was supposed to be on this day. It was supposed to happen at this time, right? Because I didn't have a chance to play against them at all this year. So now with them trying to lock up a 6 seed and not trying to avoid the play, and we're going for different seeding on our end, it's like a more of a meaningful game. But the biggest thing is going to be me coming back to a place I haven't been since February of 2020, I believe. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
I'm looking forward to just being able to see the people of Canada, the people of Toronto, the people of Scotiabank Arena, the friends, the relationship, my business partners, the kids that I've probably seen growing up. Just being able to have all the love that I gave to the country and that they're giving me, all just bringing in one moment. So I'm looking forward to it. As for the game, I don't know how it will be emotionally, but it's going to be good. It's going to be fun to be home.
I'm assuming they're going to have a tribute. right? Like on the big screen. And what is that moment gonna feel like when they play the highlight reel and you see all that stuff?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna try not to cry because I know it's gonna be emotional because it was 9 years, and they watch. I'm sure they got videos of my kid, my oldest being 1 year old. My youngest wasn't born yet. They gonna have videos of me, hanging with DeMar and hanging with, when we started, I built something there, and me and DeMar, we built something there, and we passed it along to Freddie and OG and Pascal, and it's just like there's gonna be a culmination of all that kind of put into one thing. Championship. It's gonna be, holy shit. I did a lot here, and I was here a long time, and they seen my family and my kids grow. They seen me grow. And it's hard to put all that on a video, and I'm going to be very interested in watching it. And we'll see. We got a couple more days before we get real.
I'm excited to see it too. I'm excited to see the fans react to you, man.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be really special.
It's gonna be weird, I know they're gonna be cheering me. It's gonna be weird, going to a visiting building and getting cheered. So
yeah.
Hey, I'll take them.
Yeah, man. I know you've had the honor of having your jersey retired with Villanova.
Yep.
You're the first athlete who's gonna have your jersey retired with the Toronto Raptors, right?
I don't know. That ain't my call. If it does happen, great.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean, would you want to retire a Raptor? Is that?
Oh, I'm going to retire. I will retire as a Raptor.
Yeah.
Like that's 1 day contract, 1 hour contract, 1 minute contract. I will retire as a Toronto Raptor. Like that's not even anything. It's humbling to even think that, but like I said, one thing is I try not to think on what can possibly be. I have to live in this moment, and if it happens, when it happens, I'll be humbled, I'll be honored, I'll be appreciative, because there's some things in this world that when you're coming from North Philadelphia, you ain't think you'll ever do. So it's gonna be a special moment.
I know you don't like to think about retirement, but
no,
it's one of those things that it's gonna happen. It's eventually gonna happen, right?
Sure.
You're gonna make that call when the time feels right for you. What makes you so definite that Toronto would be the place that you would retire?
Oh, because I've done everything. You said it in an earlier question. A lot of my accolades and stuff have come through Toronto. That's a place that I continuously will always call home. 9 years is not a small bid. That's a bid. That's something that's home. You don't just say, oh, maybe 1 or 2. I was 9 years a part of that franchise organization. That is a place that is special to my heart. It's special to my soul, and it will always be special to me and my family.
I want to go back to this place of leadership for a minute. We talked about it earlier, like how you control your emotions, but from a place of like a leadership standpoint, even with your current team, with Miami Heat, there was that incident that happened not too long ago with your coach and some players, like this public, what do you tell your colleagues in those moments from a place of experience and from a place of leadership?
Sometimes you gotta shut the fuck up. I don't know if I can curse it or not, but
you can cuss, man.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta shut the fuck up when you got some hard-hitting egos like that, and that's where you gotta know as a leader, don't get into that. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, sometimes you know your place, and as a leader, you might not. That might not be a time for you to try to be a leader. You let guys get their emotions out, and then you come back to it later. But yeah, sometimes you gotta just shut the fuck up and stay out the way as a leader. Is that
something you've learned from experience, or is that
definitely learned from experience? You learn, listen, you don't get into the middle of a bull fight with 2 bulls or 3 bulls, and you ain't got nothing but a red flag. You gonna get fucked up. So, hey man, yeah. All right, cool. I'm gonna go step off. I mean, I know everybody laugh at the video of me stepping off, but I'm like, man, listen, y'all seen the video, I ain't got time for that. So, listen, I come back to y'all later. Like right now, y'all do your thing, and I'll be ready when y'all ready.
And then what do you say after the moment, once people have cooled down, like in the locker room? Or is it just a non-conversation?
No, you talk about it because you have to. You have to talk about it. You have to embrace it. You have to just be like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. This is what happened. Why? Boom, boom, boom. If your brothers, your family for this time being, you have to talk about it. Family has problems. There are problems that families have. You deal with them however you deal with them, and then you move on. but you deal with them and you express them and you kind of you embrace them, and then you just move forward. You keep it there. If you want to continue to, keep that rift there, then that rift will be there. But, if you have a bigger goal, then you let that rift be a little bit smaller and a little bit skinnier and just kind of tighten back up.
Yeah. How it's interesting when I hear you speak about like management and leadership and stuff, because again, even with Masai, for instance, when you were part of the Raps, you guys had a tumultuous relationship at times, and you were there from the very beginning. He came in 2013, you came in 2012.
Yeah.
What do you think about the direction that Masai took, the franchise?
I mean, he's obviously done such a great job, and we won the championship. He got those guys. He's continued to. That organization has gotten better since the day he's gotten there. It's continued to get better in growth and business. African American awareness, African awareness, gender awareness, basketball, that whole everything. He's kind of done that and put that organization up on another pedestal. And for him to be doing that as a black man is huge. It's huge for me. And yeah, me and him, we didn't see eye to eye at all times, but that's, I tell him all the time, I text him even now, that I appreciate what he's done for me. I appreciate what he allowed me to do. I appreciate him believing in, what my abilities were as a man, as a basketball player, as a leader. And I love him, you know what I mean? Like I do. And we have a great relationship. And one thing I'll tell you is he's always going to keep it real with me, and we've always kept it real with each other. And we've had some good fights, but that's what family does and brothers do.
What do you think about the current trajectory of the Raps, like aging down and taking that focus? What are your thoughts there?
They're doing a hell of a job. We've been in 6th place right now.
Yep.
My Fred VanVleet is doing his job and leading. Pascal Siakam is showing people that he's still a spicy P. OG's getting back from injury. Gary Trent Jr. is playing his butt off. And then you got that young pup down there, Scotty Barnes. He's special kid there. So their trajectory is, they're right there. They're not tanking. They're trying to win. And Masai always says it, we will win. His famous line, we will win.
Right, for sure. I know, so going back to talking about winning, the 2019 championship, right? It was a huge moment for all of Canada. You guys won on the road.
Yeah.
What do you think, and this is me being biased because I'm Canadian and I'm a Raps fan, and I feel like we have the most loyal fan base and we're just wild fans. What do you think it would have been like if you would have won at home?
I might still be in that building right now. We lost game 5 at home, had a chance to close out, and even then, going home was still tough. So I couldn't imagine being at home in our building, closing out and winning that game. I honestly don't think. I think the city was incredible when we were there and we won it. But it would have been even more incredible. Like, they would have shut the city down completely. It was like cars would have, traffic, the Garner, the DVP, everything would have been shut down just because it would have been such a crazy moment to do it in your building. But I think it was a plan not for us not to win there because there would probably been way more arrests. So, it probably worked out the right way. It worked out the right way.
That's right, man. Well, Raps fans now, they consider, those 9 years that you played for the Raps, that's like the Kyle Lowry era of Raptors basketball. What do you hope, Raps fans take away from your time as a Raptor? What do you hope that they remember from that era?
Winning, pure passion and love for the game of basketball, pure passion and love for the country of Canada, the city of Toronto, and growth of the game of basketball, the growth of men, just the overall experience of, wow, that was a crazy, amazing time, and it was a hell of a run.
I know there's this conversation that's been going around forever, with who's the greatest Raptor of all time. Your name gets brought into that a lot, and a lot of people put you at the top of that list, #1 slot. I know you're a humble guy, but how do you feel about that? Do you feel like, yeah, I agree with that?
I let everybody else talk about it. I don't talk about it.
You won't talk about it?
I will not talk about it. I let everybody else talk about it. There's no point in me talking about it because it's not my personal opinion.
But what is your personal opinion?
I don't have an opinion on that. I don't have an opinion on that one. I won't have an opinion on that one.
Let's do this. Why don't you tell me, aside from yourself, who are some other Raptors that you would put in that list?
DeMar, for sure. Vince Carter. Just because, you know, what Vince did. Vince put Toronto on the map. I'm be honest with you, he put it on the map.
100%.
Chris Bosh, you know, he did a lot for the franchise.
Yeah.
He did a lot of great things for the franchise. And, you know, you got to put the boy Kawhi Leonard there. I mean, I know he only had 1 year, but he had a dominant impact on the 1 year, you know, as a basketball player. But that list it's a good list right there.
That's a solid list.
It's a solid list.
Solid Raptor list.
It's a good list. I mean, the franchise isn't that old, so you know, you kind of, you know, ask that question 70 years. Oh no, not 70. I probably won't be here. Ask that question 40 years from now.
You might be here in 70.
Yeah, sure, I'm here 70, boy. I'm be like.
What do you miss most about Toronto?
Everything. Just the city, the culture, the mixed culture, the great restaurants, the great people. I don't miss the traffic. That's one thing I don't miss, but I don't mind it, you know what I mean, because it's, you know, part of what Toronto is. I miss just the overall kindness of the city, the overall vibe of the city. You can always find places to go, small pockets to eat.
Yeah.
You can go out to suburbs, you can go into the city, you can go out to the GTA, you go out to Pickering, Ajax, you can go everywhere, right? You go to Saga, it's places to go, and just being able to kind of find different type of people and different type of cultures is one thing that you miss.
What about people, man? I know you have some long-lasting relationships that you probably have like forever. You're gonna know people, friends. You're gonna have relationships that are gonna last forever out there. Who are some people from Toronto that you still are in contact with? You know, that are good friends that you made over the years.
I still talk to a lot of the staff with Toronto, like the Raptors. I still talk to a lot of those guys. My business partners with Cargo Jet, AJ Vermani, Pauline Dillon. I still talk to them. My guy Vince at Soto Soto. I still talk to those guys. Everybody knows Vinny at Soto Soto. You know, Drake, of course. You know, I always talk to those guys. You know, Chubbs, all the OVO crew.
Right. I think there's footage that just surfaced of you and Drake playing in Miami, like one-on-one or something.
Yeah, I beat his ass. He had no chance. Drake, try me again, boy. But he does it every time though. Every time we're in the basketball, let's play ones. All right, why? But as a competitor, you gotta appreciate it. But yeah, he don't want that smoke. But he's gotten better though.
I was gonna ask you, well, how's his game?
He's gotten better, man. Yeah. He's gotten better. I think he's working his jump shot a lot. He's working the handle a lot. I think he really, from the time I've first seen him to the time now, you know, he's gotten a lot better. He always somehow wins his SBL, his own league. Somehow he wins that every time. But when I retire, I might have to go play a stint up there and make sure he don't win it.
And like a lot of those games happen at his crib too, right?
Yeah,
Have you been there for one of those games, or?
Yeah, I've been there for one of his games. It's really funny and it's really competitive because they really go at it and they talk a lot of shit with each other. And it's all his boys and it just be like, it's funny, bro. It is one of the most entertaining thing that you can see, but it's also competitive, so you respect what they're trying to do and what they're doing.
Right. Speaking of Drake, man, what's your fondest Drake memory in Toronto specifically?
He's a nutcase on the side of that court. He's a nutcase. There's a lot of memories. He's gotten a lot of 5-second calls and a lot of fist pumps and chest bumps, and but I just, I have a relationship with him, so it's not just in the city. It's really like we're bigger than just basketball. We have a real life friendship, so. Just being able to have a friend like that, is one of the biggest artists in the world. It's just cool.
I know when I hear you talk about Canadians, this is something that we all know about Canadians. Canadians tend to be like nice people.
They're so fucking nice.
So you spent almost a decade in Canada, bro. Yeah. Has any of this niceness rubbed off on you?
Yeah, I got up this morning to do this interview.
There we go,
man. No, I swear, man, it's one of the nicest places. Nicest, cleanest places I've ever been, with the best people, because it's just, you guys are nice, man. It's just, Canadians are nice people. We got some shit up there, but overall, it's just a beautiful place with beautiful people.
But has it rubbed off on you actually though? Like, have you found that maybe now at this point you would do things differently?
I mean, I'm nicer, but it's also because that's with age. But I still got that Philly in me. You know what I'm saying? Like that Philly always gonna take over. And I'm like, I got my nice moments. Hey, how you doing? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's still gonna be some Philly over. That toughness in there that's 36 years of that.
Yeah, but I've seen you do some nice, like even Fred Van Fleet, man, he talks about you like, I have respect for him. He took me under his wing and stuff. That's a Canadian thing, bro.
That's my little brother, man. That's my little brother. And, me and him have a special relationship. And I guess that's a Canadian thing, but those guys, Pascal, OG, Freddie, I have special places. Like those guys are like really my heart. My boys, like, I love those guys.
How often are you in contact with them?
I just talked to Freddie this morning. It's just, I talked to OG, we text Pascal, me and him will text, here and there. But, I watch their games all the time. I support them. I want them to win every time they play, except for against me. I want them to continue to get better. I want them to continue to be great. I want them to continue to create generational wealth for them. I want them to continue to kind of help the world in general. That's just the passion and love I have for those guys.
Why does that, it's interesting to me because you talk about yourself in a way where it's like, yeah, I'm from Philly. Philly still comes out.
Yeah.
But there is that side of you too where it's like, you don't need to still care about these people. Why do you feel that way?
Create a bigger bond when you get close to people. Those guys, I watch those guys come in and I talk to those guys I watch them come in and I watch them grow and I'll continue to watch them grow. And it's like, as much as we say, we have moving parts in our league and in our world, but when you find something special and you see something special with people and you do something special together, like winning a championship, that bond never breaks. They're always bonded somehow, some way, forever. And, I always care about those guys because I watch them. I tried to help them as much as I could. I tried to give them as much knowledge as I could and put them in situations where they could be most successful. And all I could do is see them being successful. And I'm proud of everything they do because I'm big bro. Old bro. They'll call me old. They just call me old. So that's just the relationship. They call me old, Yeah. OG will tell me I'm listening to elevator music.
You talked about generational wealth. And congrats, man, you signed for 3 years with Miami, 90 mil. How do you take that 90 mil and make it so that generations to come will benefit off of it? Like, what are you doing with that 90 mil?
You be smart. You make decisions. You put people in place in your circle that are smarter than you. They can help you make the right investments, make the right donations, put yourself in a position where you can be successful. And you're not just going out there frivolously throwing money away. You put people in positions that are smarter than you and know what they have done for other people. And you just kind of build on it. You learn and you see and, you still enjoy life. And, you just watch and you read and you see and just figure it out as you go.
Moving to Miami, you've been in Miami for a while now, but it's a family conversation, right? Mm-hmm. How did your kids and your wife react to the idea of moving to Miami?
They support me. My kids, my oldest was kind of like, no, don't go. Mm-hmm. And my youngest kind of, okay. And, my family, they support me no matter what I do because they know.
I can imagine it'd be tough though because you're uprooting essentially.
Yeah, it was tough. But essentially, like my kids were doing, virtual school, right, for a year and a half, a year. So my kids were doing virtual school. So we were kind of not in Canada anyway, but their friends are there. But with the way the world is and the way technology is, they still have their friends. They still have FaceTime. They still have their Fortnite. They still have their Roblox, whatever they're playing, whatever the games they're playing nowadays. And they still have the relationships that they've had with them. They're still able to do that. If I'd have got moved, I'd have been over with my friends growing up the same neighborhood. But kids adapt so well. Kids really adapt well, and I'm fortunate enough that my kids were able to adapt fairly quickly and well. So, like I said, now my kids are a little bit older. My oldest is on like a trip right now, and he FaceTimed me this morning. I was, talk to them and just have a conversation. Just say, how you doing? You miss your kid? Bye. And, they really don't talk to you as much anymore.
Right.
So I got to find ways to, but they were supportive. My family was supportive, and everybody was just like, if you're happy, then we're happy.
Speaking about your sons too, you have an interesting stance on tattoos and body piercings. You don't have any.
None.
What are you gonna do when your sons get to a point where they're like, hey Dad, I wanna get a tattoo, I wanna get a piercing? What are you gonna say?
We'll have a conversation. I won't tell them no. We'll have a conversation. And if they give me great reasons on why or what the meaning or make me understand, because that's the biggest thing. It's like, don't just do it just to do it because they're us.
Right.
Have me understand why. I'm not gonna say no if you give me a great reason and you give me something like, oh man, that's a really good reason. I'm never going to be like, no. I'm gonna, okay, that's why. Is that, give me some pros, cons, this, that, and the other. Are you gonna pay for it? What's the consequences? What's the reaction? What's the action? And then go from there. Like I'm gonna be the parent that, I'm not gonna be like, no, you can't. I'm gonna give me, talk to me. Why? What's your thought process? Because you want your kids to continue to think and grow.
I thought it was just a no. I thought it was just like, no, man, like you're not gonna do that.
Dad did it differently. You don't have to be like that. Dad's gonna support you no matter what. Daddy gonna be there and he's gonna support you however you want to be supported. There's some things I'm gonna say no to, but if you can, there's things that it's a conversation, then yeah, you talk about it. I understand what the world is. The world is expressing yourself in different ways. I express myself by not having tattoos or piercings. That's just not my thing. My brother wouldn't allow that for me,
right.
And I kind of accepted it.
You've talked a lot about, again, speaking about, I guess, your brother's perspective, it was about image, right? Your image. And a lot of what you talked about too as a professional athlete is being seen as more than just an athlete, right? If people look at you now, your legacy is very much tied to basketball,
yeah,
right? What else would you want your legacy to be tied to?
I think somewhat basketball, but I think people know me also as a smart business person outside the basketball world. I think a lot of people know that I do good business, and I don't put my things that I invest in out there. A lot of things that people see, and now I just did a great partnership with BitBuy with the crypto.
I saw that, yeah.
And I've been building that, and that's something that's fun, right? Something different. Great partners to be a part of, in this world. I've always been the old school guy, real people, real G's move in silence. And you definitely move in silence. I do. I try to kind of, but like I said, I got a great team in place. I got great people around me who will make sure that, I move a certain way and I do the right things. I invest in the right places. I give back to the right things, and I put myself in positions to be successful.
Right. That's dope, bro. I got a couple of speed round questions that I'm gonna fire at you. This can be past, present, but we're talking about Raptors specifically.
Okay, cool.
Who is the most fashionable Raptor of all time?
Oh man, I'm not even gonna say it. Fashionable?
Fashionable.
Serge Ibaka.
I felt like that one hurt to come out.
It hurts to say. Oh man, my guy. You know what? Shout out to Ed Davis though. Ed Davis who got swag. He got swag, but that's painful to say, Serge. Yeah, Serge.
Who's the best Raptor? Who's the best Raptor dunker of all time?
Vince Carter. Not even close. Yeah, Vince Carter. Yeah, Vince Carter.
Funniest Raptor of all time?
Ooh, funniest Raptor of all time. OG Anunoby.
Yeah?
OG is hilarious, bro. OG is hilarious. OG is hilarious. I don't care nobody.
I know. How you got to tell me what is
just his mannerism, his dry sense of humor. He do this little dance when he start to dance. He like this 6'8", he's stiff. He just try to make he's just his verbiage, his monotone and everything to me. And I think OG was pretty funny. Damn.
The last one I had here was who's the greatest Raptor of all time? I know you're too humble to say it, but I'm gonna say it for you. I'm gonna say you.
I appreciate you. Yeah.
I'm also gonna let you know. So Complex, a big reason we're even doing this is because Complex is releasing a list of best Raptors of all time, and you're number one. So
oh wow!
That yet,
shout out to Complex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Complex. I appreciate it. I ain't say thank you. I appreciate it.
Another question I had for you quick is, Kyle Lowry dunks are rare.
Super rare.
Fans are like, when can we expect the next Lowry dunk?
You know when you expect the next Lowry dunk? There's this Fisher Price I got from my kids back in the day. It's about 6 feet. I be doing all type of windmill 360 on it. I'm gonna go on live one time to do that for you. Next time you'll see one.
Which NBA player that's been a rapper NBA player would you say had the best music or best rap career?
Ooh, man, Dame is, he's put out, Troy, albums Dame put out. Albums Dame got out 2? Yeah, 2? 3? Dame, he put out 3 albums that are very successful, and I've heard a lot of his music. He's very successful. And low-key, Miles Bridges is fire. I ain't gonna lie, Miles Bridges, just his flow, his vibe, I like Miles Bridges. A lot of athletes, they don't get looked at as, artists, as
right.
rap artists, but, they have that talent to do it. And, it's really good, talented guys out there.
Outside of your Miami Heat team,
Okay.
which player would you build an NBA franchise around?
Outside of Miami team?
Yeah.
One player? Right now?
Yeah.
Ooh. I think I would go with Kevin Durant.
Nice.
I would go with Kevin
Why
Durant.
Kevin?
He's 7-foot point guard, basically. He's one of the best players in our league. He can pretty much do everything at all levels. So, and the respect I have for KD, what he does on the basketball court, what he does, his work ethic is crazy. And I just, I'm a fan of KD's. You can pick. Honestly, you can go pick Luka, you can pick Steph, you can pick Bron, you can,
right.
You can pick all these guys, Jokic, Joel. But I think just Kevin Durant's one of those special players.
Dope, bro. That's all I got for you, man. I look forward to seeing you in Toronto, and congrats on everything, man. Like, Canada loves you. You're always gonna be, like someone special for us, So look forward to seeing you. Look forward to seeing the fan reaction.
Yeah.
In Toronto.
I appreciate you. I appreciate Canada. I appreciate Complex, brother.
I'll see you there Sunday,
Thank
man.
you. See you Sunday.